Okay, I finished the repotting of my Ukigumu Japanese maple into a new pot, but I did not expect that it wasn't the pot I planned for. This is merely a training pot, not this beautiful um, glazed uh, bonsai pot I prepare for the maple. The reason is the root system is just too bad, and um, there is no um, rationale to actually put it into a proper bonsai pot with the current root system. And let's see. So if I take a turn on the root system, you can see main problem is there are several gigantic roots that's basically standing uh, under the original soil line almost without any fibrous root. So if I cut all these off, I'm going to get a flat root plane, but the plant is not going to survive. But with it, it's with it, it's kind of the root is kind of not in unity with the style of the tree. This tree, the top of the tree has these gentle, elegant movement. It's not a crazy tree, but the roots, it's too crazy, which if it were paired with a crazy top, with a lot of crazy movement and gnarly trunk, that would be a good root base, could be. But with this top and this root system, it just doesn't fit with each other. So at this point, there is no point to put the tree in a elegant bonsai pot at this stage of development. And all this is after I tease out the soil and examine the root system, I can reach this conclusion. So how would I tackle this problem? How could this problem be tackled? Um, One most simple way is to leave it and just try to imagine some kind of scene um, on this tree. Maybe somebody built a house under this tree to make some figurines sitting in here, or get a car going under there to make it a crazy tree. But as I've said, the top of this tree is too elegant, too gentle, and the bottom of the tree is so wild, and it kind of doesn't fit too well together. The other way to deal with it is to do a root over rock. Find a rock that would fit into this space, and pretend that the rock is always there and the tree is always just growing on top of a rock, which is also a simple solution that we can adopt, which in sometimes it could be a great result. Um, but still, a tree that's growing on a rock, it's going to be more gnarly than tree growing on a mild environment. The top of this tree, if you look at here, here, up, which is the original soil line, which it would look like a very good start of Nibari there, turned out to be a crazy uh, root system. And it happens, it's a nursery stock, so you may think that all the beautiful root systems and the Nibari that come with a good bonsai, they were just naturally formed. But a root base is the result, a good Nibari or good surface root system is the result of year after years of work. So a nursery stock has never been through any root work before, so you could expect all sorts of crazy root system. This is not totally surprising. So I either make it into a crazy tree or I make it try to correct for the root system. And in this case, I would like to try and make it into a spreading root system. The way I'm going to try to tackle this is to do a ground layering. So what I'm going to do is, so first I put it in this pot with a lot of, it's a training pot with a lot of drainage, a lot of air to ensure the top of the tree would grow rapidly this year. And at the same time, I'm going to scrape the bark of this root system, the surface bark off, and basically try to air layer from here above, from the here above, and try to create a flat system this way. And next year when I repot, although I don't know if I have next year with this tree, but if everything go with the plan, I'm going to see if I find a new root system developing above this line. And after that, if that's the case, I'm going to cut off all these root under the region where I try to ground layer and start again from above this. So that's my plan of tackling this system. A lot of people may love this root base, and it could indeed be a charming and unique root base. It's just the top of the tree is not matching these type of root base. Has this tree been a crazy tree with crazy movement and a very gnarly bark? This could be a good style, but I think this tree is more of a traditional, gentle and elegant tree, not a wild tree. So that's what I'm going to do. So the first step, I'm going to try to draw the line where I would like to ground layer with a blade. Just trying to draw it all around. going to start cutting away some of the bark. Not sure if you can see. So this will be a long video, and although people love short videos these days, I actually like long videos. So this, you can see green layer is cambium, and a very thin layer under the cambium is the xylem. I need to scrape off both layer and to cut off. So the theory or the mechanism behind air layering or ground layering is that the top growth of a tree generates this hormone called auxins, and auxin get transported from the growing tip of the tree to the root of the tree to instruct root growth. So if the top of the tree is growing very well, it's going to need more water and need more nutrition from the root, so that it's going to send out this signaling molecule to the root to tell the root that you need to grow more. So the auxin gets sent to the root system and instruct the root to grow, and it's sent through this surface layer that I'm scraping off right now. By scraping this layer off, I'm cutting the highway where auxin is sent. So as a result, the auxin is going to accumulate at the point where I cut. And if the environment, so there is going to have a accumulation of auxin above where I cut, and if the surrounding environment is suitable for root growth, at this layer the root is going to start growing above where I cut the cambium layer, cambium and xylem layers. So the root is going to develop above this line where I cut it. So that's the theory behind air layering or ground layering here. And I would need to cut it relatively clean to cut off the information transporting system between the top of the tree and the bottom of the tree. So I would need to make sure there is no green layer. If there is still green, then we're not cutting enough, because we haven't even get rid of the cambium layer yet, not to say the xylem layer underneath. We should not cut into the sapwood though, because the sapwood is where the roots send water and nutrition to the top of the tree. And if we cut all of that, the top of the tree is going to die. But if we are only cutting off the cambium and the xylem, the root system is the tree, the top of the tree is going to be fine. So I mainly want to make sure the cut above is going to be neat, and the cut under that, it's not as important, because the root is not going to grow under my cut point, it's going to grow above my cut point. So the cut above, it's going to be neat. And after that, I'm going to accelerate this root growth process by applying some rooting hormone, which is also awesome. So it's not entirely necessary to apply rooting hormone, because the leaves, the top growth, is going to generate that. But applying rooting hormone powder is going to accelerate the process. For some of the places I may not be able to access, but I hope maybe you can see some green there. The green layer I need to scrape off. I need to make sure I scrape off all the green. And also another invisible layer of xylem under the green, but I cannot see the xylem layer. So I at least need to make sure all the green is gone. If the green is not even gone, then I definitely not doing enough. If I can, I would like to ideally get the underside of the tree too, but it's probably difficult to do. I mean, the back of these roots, they also need to be scraped if possible, but it may be too difficult. also trying to scrape the underside. It's a little bit more difficult. Let me try to pop it up a little bit. Okay, so let's see, it should have formed a ring all around the top and the bottom of the tree, and it should be able to separate the root and the top enough to stimulate the accumulation of the accumulation of oxygen above the line where I cut. So let's see. Okay. So this is the cut I'm going to make. I'm making. And now we will need to apply some rooting hormone. Let's see, which I'm going to put here. Let's see. Still cannot see. Okay. The rooting hormone is here. And I'm going to apply it. So rooting hormone is sold in solid powder form or in a gel form. Both can be used, but from my experience, it seems that the powder is a little bit faster. I think it may be because it's more concentrated because it's a solid. So currently what I'm doing is I'm wetting the area I'm trying to apply rooting hormone on, so that when I actually apply the rooting hormone is going to stick. So you can use a brush, but I'm not fussy, so I'm just using my fingers. Apply above where the cut is, because that's where the roots ideally is going to come out from. Okay, now it's all around. We don't need too much. We just need a little bit. I'm going to, after that, that's sufficient rooting hormone. After that, I'm going to surround this area where I want root to come out with sphagnum moss and a mixture of sphagnum moss and akadama. These are akadama. And I have wetted the sphagnum moss already, so now I just need to mix them. I'm not going to be fussy and sieve the akadama, but if you want to sieve them to get rid of the fine powder, you can also sieve them. But because this is not a permanent thing, so I'm not going to sieve them, but I'm going to kind of mix the two together. Kind of is not the easiest thing to mix the two, because the akadama always go under. Okay, I'm not going to do too much of this, but what I'm going to do is to, from my experience, the akadama and sphagnum moss doesn't mix easily. But I think it's fine. So I'm going to fill this hole with sphagnum moss. Okay. And then I'm going to surround this with the cut top of a pot. Recently I've cut a lot of these pots because I'm doing a lot of repotting. Just going to secure it. Not a big deal, just put it in, would be fine. Now I'm just going to fill it with sphagnum moss and akadama. This way, I hope a new root system is going to form, and it's going to be a beautiful new root system. Okay. So this is what I'm doing with this tree. And we don't have to hold it too tight. And I think this is sufficient. And this year I'm just not going to cut anything, and I'm just going to allow the top to grow, and the only thing I'm going to do is water and fertilize, and let it grow like crazy. And it has a lot of development to do anyway, so this is what I'm going to do, because this is such a long video, so I'm going to let it be a individual video. Okay, I'm pretty sure after this year, if I just let it grow rapidly, it's going to develop a new root system After that, I'm going to take this away and cut off the original root system underneath where I cut, and allow it to have a nice root base. After that, I'm probably going to put it into this bonsai pot that I have prepared last year. This year I'm not able to put it in this bonsai pot, which I really would want to do, but the root system is just not allowing me to do so. But hopefully next year, I'm going to have a new root system that fills this container, which I'm pretty sure I will have that. And after it fills this container, I'm going to simply cut off the original root system and transplant this into here. And so that's the plan. I hope you enjoy this video, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye.